The Council of 12 before Earth had a name, before hunger learned how to speak. There was water and light, and those who lived between them. They were called the 12, though they did not call themselves anything at all. Names are tools of division, and they had no need of tools. They were human once, or something close enough that the word human still trembled with recognition when spoken of them. Their bodies were light-bound, their bones less dense, their minds unburdened by fear of ending. They drank water when they wished and needed nothing else. The universe sustained them because they did not resist it. They lived on a world far from Earth, a blue-white sphere wrapped in slow-moving clouds and shallow seas. Cities were unnecessary. So were walls. Knowledge passed without language, and disagreement never hardened into conflict. The 12 existed not as rulers, but as anchors, points of balance that kept their people aligned with the rhythm of reality. They knew Earth before they arrived there. They saw it forming, molten and wild, watched oceans gather like breath in sleeping lungs. They chose it not as a conquest, but as a refuge. Their own world was fading, not dying, but changing into something inhospitable to their way of being. Earth was young enough to remember them. They descended quietly. For a time, all was as it had been. The early Earth welcomed them. Water tasted familiar. Gravity was heavier, but manageable. Their children were born slower, denser, more rooted, but still free of hunger. Then the others arrived. They did not come from chaos, nor from light, but from order sharpened into obsession. They were tall, radiant, structured beings who measured existence in outputs and yield. They spoke of balance, but meant control. They saw Earth not as a refuge, but as a system waiting to be optimized. The 12 recognized them instantly. Administrators. They called themselves gods, but behaved like engineers. At first, there was exchange. Knowledge traded for access. Guidance offered in return for restraint. The 12 believed coexistence was possible. They had never needed deception before. They were wrong. The administrators studied the 12 with fascination and envy. Here were beings who required no supply chains, no labor cycles, no obedience enforced by scarcity. A people who could not be controlled because they could not be starved. This would not do. The first change was subtle. The air felt thinner. The water no longer sustained quite as fully. Children were born who tired more easily, who needed sustenance sooner. The 12 convened, sensing a fracture in the pattern. Then came the binding. The administrators altered the human form not crudely, but elegantly. A tightening, a narrowing, a new dependency introduced like a key turned softly in a lock. Hunger was installed. Time was shortened. Memory dimmed. The 12 resisted, but resistance requires leverage, and they had never built themselves around force. One by one, they were subdued, not killed, but repurposed. Their bodies became templates, their essence fragmented and folded into a new design, modern humanity. A being capable of immense creation, but only through effort, through labor, through hierarchy, through obedience to systems built by others. The 12 were scattered. Some were buried deep within genetic memory. Others dissolved into myth. A few remained awake long enough to watch the first fields planted, the first rationing imposed, the first prayers taught. They understood then. This was not extermination. It was domestication. And yet something endured. In rare moments, when a human drinks water and feels briefly complete, when hunger fades without being fed, when the world feels staged, artificial, thinner than it should be, a memory stirs, not of another planet, not of gods, but of a time when existence itself was enough. And somewhere, beyond language, the 12 are still watching, not waiting to return, but waiting to be remembered.